Hey guys, this is Zephyros on Kalthazad, and today I wanted to talk to you guys about the 7.1.5 changes for Frost Death Knight, and specifically talk about the Breath of Sindragosa, the new spec that's out, what it takes to do that, the talents you'll need, legendaries I suggest, things of that nature. So we'll just get right into it here with some legendaries. The two I've been using, Torvon's Whiteout Bindings. While Pillar of Frost is active, you deal 15% increased frost damage. Really good legendary. One of the best ones you can get for Frost. I was lucky enough to get this pretty early into the patch, into the expansion, I mean, and it has definitely served me well. The other one I use, Consort's Cold Core. Sindragosa's Fury has a 50% reduced cooldown and freezes all enemies hit for 3 seconds. This is a new legendary that came out with this last patch. I was lucky enough to get it a couple days ago, and just been trying it out for the last couple days, really. So basically, your Sindragosa's Fury, instead of a 5-minute cooldown, it has a 2.5-minute cooldown, which is pretty amazing in a lot of situations. I don't think this is going to end up being best in slot or anything like that, but it's definitely good and fun to try out if you get these. The other legendary I have the helmet. That increases Howling Blast damage. Most people say it's not a very good legendary, but it's decent. I might put it back on when I'm done, trying out the legs and see if my damage goes up from having the increase on Howling Blast. So those are the ones I have, and what I'm using. Other ones I would suggest is the new trinket that came out, if you can get that. It's got really good stats. It's a use trinket, basically just an AoE trinket. Does a crap ton of damage to everything, and I'm assuming it'll be pretty good for a lot of fights, especially the bosses that have like a lot of ads and stuff on them. And the ring, the Seal of Necrotancia, I think is how you say it. It reduces the recharge time on Hungering Rune Weapon, which is huge. I don't have the ring to try it out, but I'm assuming it's amazing in this spec. You guys will see why later once you know the talents and stuff like that. But those are the ones you want to be watching out for if you don't have any, or you want to be looking for better ones. Also, my two trinkets are pretty crap. One's 855, one's 850, but I have higher item level trinkets, other trinkets, but these two, the Faulty Countermeasure and Memento, seem to do the most damage for me anyway. If you can get higher item level ones, that would be ideal. But this is the only Faulty Countermeasure I've ever even seen drop while I was in group, so you go with what you get. Also, my weapon is level 43, so it's not that good. It's not that bad. If you're higher, obviously you're going to be able to do a little more damage. If you're lower than this, you're probably not going to be able to pull as much. And again, with legendaries, if you don't have any, if you don't have the bracers per se, you're probably not going to be able to pull maybe the numbers you see me pull. So just keep that in mind. I'm sure the spec will still do just fine, still pump out a decent amount of damage. So we'll look at the spec here. For 56, you want to take Murderous Efficiency. Consuming the Killing Machine effect has a 65% chance to cause you to gain 1 rune. Now that's really important in this Breath spec, because the whole idea behind the Breath spec is you want to turn on Breath of Sindragosa, and then you never want to have it go off. You keep it up as long as possible, and you do that with runic power. So if you can consume the Killing Machine, which you're going to do anyway, and have a 65% chance to gain a rune and do another Obliterate or another Howling Blast, it's going to give you even more runic power and that much more uptime on your breath. So that's why we picked this talent here. For 57, I go Freezing Fog. Howling Blast and Frost Fever deal 30% increased damage. I take this just because it's a flat-out increase on abilities. Howling Blast, you're going to be doing a lot. Your Frost Fever ticks are going to do more. You can use Horn of Winter if you want, and you can squeeze out a little bit longer breath using it this way. But I still think Freezing Fog will do more damage overall in like an extended fight, a boss fight. So I'm just going to keep this for now. 58, Hungering Rune Weapon. Empower your rune weapon, and you gain 1 rune and 5 runic power instantly, and every 1.5 seconds for 15 seconds. This is the backbone of Breath of Sindragosa, pretty much. Like, Breath of Sindragosa is the fire you start, and this is the gasoline that keeps it going, basically. So 60, winter is coming. Everyone should have that. 75, White Walker. Pretty sure that's a no-brainer. Whenever you Wraith Walk, you can reduce 30% damage. So if you know the boss is going to do a big ability that you take a lot of damage to, you can just Wraith Walk and reduce the damage. 90, Gathering Storms. This got buffed when the patch came out. Each rune you spend during Remorseless Winter increases its damage by 15% and extends its duration by 0.5 seconds. So the idea behind the breath, once you turn on Hungry Rune Weapon, you're going to be in pretty much an obliterate spam phase, and mixing in Howling Blast when it procs. So you'll be spending all those runes on those obliterates, and every time you spend one while your Remorseless Winter's on, which it should be on, every time it's off cooldown pretty much. So you're just letting your Remorseless Winter do more damage and last longer. So that's really, really nice. Once you have this, you'll see your Remorseless Winter should be like in the top 4 of your damaging abilities on your list when you check it out. And of course, at 100, Breath of Sindragosa continuously deal 120,000 Shadow Frost damage every second to enemies in the cone in front of you. You will continue breathing until the runic power is exhausted, or you cancel the effect. This is the whole spec right here. 120,000 damage every second, as long as you can keep it up, and it can crit, which is amazing. It's really good damage. You'll see the burst potential of it once I start here. The rotation that I've been using the last couple days with this is, like pre-pull stuff, you always use your use trinkets and your pod if that's if you're going to do that. As soon as the fight starts, or like right before you get up to the boss or whatever you're pulling, you want to Pillar of Frost, Remorseless Winter. Then you're going to Howling Blast to get your Frost Fever going on your target. Then you're going to Obliterate to get a little more runic power. And by now, you're going to be able to turn on your Breath of Sindragosa. So, Pillar of Frost, Remorseless Winter, Howling Blast, Obliterate, Breath of Sindragosa. Then you want to turn on Hungering Rune Weapon. And then you want to Sindragosa's Fury. And as soon as you hit your dragon, you're going to be in your Obliterate spam phase, is what I call it. Because when you use this, you can just spam Obliterate. If that's what even if this procs, if you don't even ever want to use Howling Blast, you can just spam Obliterate, and you'll keep your breath going a decent amount of time just from that one ability. But to really maximize the damage out of it, you're going to want to use Howling Blast when it procs. So when you get a rhyme, it's what the passive's called. Howling Blast costs no runes, and it deals 300% increased damage. So you really want to be using those when you can. That'll help you save runes for Obliterate. That's going to give you Obliterate gives you more runic power than using a Howling Blast. And just so you know, when Howling Blast does proc and you use it, it doesn't give you runic power right now. I think they're supposed to be changing that at some point, but we'll see. Or there's a legendary that does it or something. But right now, when your Howling Blast procs, you get no runic power when you use it. So you only get runic power when you use Howling Blast when it's not procced, which kind of sucks. But so, like I was saying, the more Obliterates you can do, the better, because it's more runic power. And then that's basically it. Once you pump out all the damage you can with Breath, and it's on cooldown, you just wait for it to come off cooldown and link it back up with Pillar of Frost, Remorseless Winter, even Hungering Rune Weapon. If you're on a boss and it goes over 3 minutes, this is going to help you. And even if you have the legs, like I do, you can get in another Sindragosa's Fury, because it's only on a 2.5 minute cooldown. So yeah, just couple that all back up together, and you can even make yourself start off with a full bar of runic power on the second time you start your Breath. And that'll keep you from having to use Hungering Rune Weapon as fast, because you're already going to be at like a full bar of runic power when you start. But I'll just go through here now, and that's another thing I wanted to stress in the videos. I'm not starting with any runic power on this. I'm not going to go up and hit the dummy until I get a full bar of runic power, and then reset and do it. This is no runic power, only trinket. It's the only thing I'm using. and we'll see how much I can burst up to here. So that was over 1 million right there. Use that when it procs. So you can hold over 1 million damage, well into 900k. And you always turn Remorseless Winter back on when it goes on cooldown. And right here, I'm going to run out of runic power. You can see it just now went off, so we'll cut that off. So yeah, that was maybe like 25-30 seconds, I'm pretty sure, of just pure breath, which is really, really good, especially starting out with no runic power at all. And like I said, I'm totally unbuffed, so bursting for 1 million unbuffed is pretty good. That's usually what it bursts up around at with my item level and the trinkets and stuff I'm using, like I said. So if you don't have this, like the legendaries and the trinkets and stuff, you might be doing a little less, but it should still be really good damage, a lot better than some of the other specs, and it's not very hard to do. It's not only for like a patchworky boss where you just stand there and breath and not have to worry about anything. You can move around while you're breathing. It's like a high movement fight, or if you have ads and you know there's going to be a certain time when you have a bunch of ads, you can save your breath for ad phases and stuff like that, and really help your group out and burning things down a whole lot faster. But I hope the video did help you guys, and leave me a comment. And I hope to make you guys some more videos here pretty soon. Thanks for watching.